As the time gets closer and closer to James Gunn's Superman releasing on July 11th, 2025, more hype and more talk has been generating for this movie. And while there are some people that might be saying, oh, there is no hype, there's nothing interesting about the movie, or they're very excited, I really don't want to participate in these talks, at least just yet, because the most important conversation and topic surrounding this movie is, can this movie make $1 billion? Yes, as a fan, I really don't care if a movie makes $1 million or $1 billion, because as long as the movie is good, the movie's going to be good. And if the movie's going to be bad, making $1 billion, it won't change the fact that the movie is bad. But I really feel like it is really important for this movie to make $1 billion. In today's video, I am going to make the case as to why I believe Superman, James Gunn's Superman, releasing on July 11th, 2025, needs to make $1 billion. Obviously speaking, it's going to be the first DCU movie. No, well, okay, yeah, it is going to be the first DCU movie, but it's not going to be the first DCU project. It's actually Creatures Commandos. I haven't watched it, so I don't know if it's good or not, but I have heard a lot of great stuff, and I will watch it eventually sometime. That's besides the point. I don't want to talk about Creatures Commandos right now. I want to talk about Superman. Superman is going to be the first movie published in the DCU universe, and it needs to make a great impression, similar to Iron Man 2008. Now, if you've went to the internet and you've seen some of the reactions that Superman has been getting, it's been mixed. But I honestly don't think it really matters, because I bet you if you went and saw the reactions of, for example, Iron Man, it kind of also had like many reactions. I mean, who's Iron Man before the MCU? He was kind of a nobody. And then the movie came out. It had a really good word of mouth, and everybody saw it. Everybody really liked it. And the rest is history. But Superman is not Iron Man, where he's getting mixed reactions because no one knows him and he's kind of a nobody. He's getting mixed reactions because people are not confident in the ability of James Gunn. They're seeing his style, they're seeing the wackiness, and some people are kind of afraid. Because if you think about it, Superman has been depicted kind of in a grim and stoic way. Look at the Zack Snyder films, Man of Steel, or you could look at BVS, you could look at, Zack Snyder's Justice League. He's very stoic. Superman is very stoic. Someone you can't be playful with. I know it's not entirely true, but that's the vibe that Zack Snyder's Superman had. And then when you look at in my opinion, his most popular depiction, the Injustice games, I mean, he's the main antagonist. He's the main villain. And when Injustice 1 came out, people really like, oh my god, Superman was so cool, it's so edgy, and people started to like Superman more. And so if that movie fails to get $1 billion, there might be real conversations that maybe Superman might be washed. I mean, if you think about it, a lot of his story arcs, or one of the stories that I remember about Superman, if I'm not mistaken, All-Star Superman, I really forgot the name of the movie, where he goes up against a bunch of these UK guys, and the whole premise of the movie is that his whole shtick, the whole Superman shtick, is just old, archaic, and just something of the past, and people need to move on from it. And the way people react to Superman, they've only liked the bad side of him. They've only liked the stoic side of him. They love and adore his clones. Think about it. Sentry. Think about it. Omni-Man. Think about it. Homelander, who's popping off and is being argued as one of the greatest villains of all fiction. If the real Superman, which I believe James Gunn can get it done, if the real Superman is showed, and not a lot of people are paying money to go and see that, I think the investors and I think Warner Brothers are going to be like, how many times are we just going to do Batman movies, and to take us out of the pit? I mean, is that DC all they have? And they're going to start to question that. And if your first project is kind of questionable, it can't be like Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts didn't perform that good in the box office, but Marvel, they can do that. They can have situations like that, because they can be like, I mean, it was a good movie. People liked it, but not a lot of people paid for it. Not a lot of people went to see it in the theater. So what we can do is just pivot away from it, We're going to incorporate those elements in bigger movies. That way we can make a profit and get good ratings. DCU, they can't really do that because let's say Superman needs to make, if I'm not mistaken, around $500 million to break even. And let's say the movie makes 525, right? It's still making $25 million, kind of, or a little bit lesser than that, or a little bit higher than that, but it's not making enough for DC and Warner Brothers to be very confident in putting a lot of time and money. Think about it like this. If I told you, give me $1,000 and I'll give you so much later on. You come back to me a year later and I give you $1,000 and $10. You're going to feel like, oh no, that's like all this time, all this worrying. I gave you $1,000 and you just gave me back $1,010. All the profit I made was just $10. That's how DC and Warner Brothers are going to see it. It's just a $20 million profit, a $5 million profit. Obviously, they can make it from other sources, i.e. toys, merchandises, games, whatever it is. But overall, when the movie itself is so unprofitable, you have to look for other streams of income to justify it. That really puts it into question for Warner Brothers to say, hey, is he even someone that should be in the pillars? They're going to start to make him either a villain, or they might just grab the whole DCU and they're just going to do Batman movies forever and ever. In conclusion, I don't think Superman is going to flop. Contrary to that belief, I think it's going to do good in the box office, but it's not. I am pessimistic when it comes to reaching the $1 billion goal. And I want it to reach it because if it reaches that, then it is undeniable that James Gunn is here. It is undeniable that Superman is not washed, as I have mentioned. And it is undeniable that DC is not just a Batman brand. It's more than that. They have so many characters that, okay, they're not better than Batman, but they're around that level, okay, in terms of interest, mythos, lore, world building. So many amazing characters that they can tell. And honestly, if James Gunn and Warner Bros. Know what they're doing, they can rival, or even better yet, outperform MCU going on forward. But they need to start it off with Superman. And the best way they can start it off with is making $1 billion. But that's all I have. If you have any comments, please let me know. I would like to hear all of your thoughts.